Well, hello there, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're doing it to, you're probably doing it a lot happier now that I'm here in your life. Most would disagree. G'day, you happy days, Earthlings. I'm Bushka on Blitz, and we're back for another exciting adventure in nonchalance and apathy. This is where we have a look at the mistakes that I've been making in game, and hopefully it helps you never to make them yourselves. Now, we've been doing a little bit lately. We've had a lot of material coming out. We had the IS4 7K game. This one here, the bounciest castle. Much drama, much high-tension, big stakes gameplay. As well as that, we've also done the M10 review. The Panther M10, the very famous and much loved by me anyway, premium matchmaking medium at tier 7, and the T150, the pocket rocket, the tier 6 monster. But this is a completely different and very interesting way of moving forward with life. We're going to be looking at mistakes. Now, before we do, I want to update you a little bit on some activity on the channel. This is Patreon. Now, I've previously been soliciting donations via PayPal. I'm happy for you to do that still to keep the channel rolling, but this is a really interesting way of moving forward, hopefully, for the channel itself. You sponsor the videos, basically, and you can sponsor for as little or as much as you like. For $1, every time I release a video, you pay $1. You can set a maximum on that, so you're only paying $2 or $3 a year if you want, or $20 a year if you want, however you want to do it. And it's more about, it feels a little bit more like working for the money, which is good. And it helps keeping the girl off the back, and we've only just opened it up, but if you pledge $1, you don't get a lot, but if you pledge 10, we'll actually do a video on you. So you send me your gameplay, a game, and I will critique it with you. I'm happy to do it in real time and have a chat about it, and it should be a little bit of fun as well. And there are various goals there. If we hit those, we do different things, like I'll podcast nude, I don't care, anything. We'll figure it out as we go along. But that's Patreon, and the actual link is in the channel bar at the top. You can see the little orange P. There's also a link on the video here below in the description that will take you to the page. And if you want to be a patron, you want to be a sponsor, I'm pretty sure Mighty P is the only bloke who's done it so far. He's the dollar donor at the moment. He was actually the T150 activist as well, so he's been getting it around on the channel. It's a really interesting way going forward of possibly funding the channel further and keeping my girl off my back, because she does get a little bit uptight about how much time I spend making tanks and not making love, if you know what I mean. Anyway, don't divorce me. Onwards and upwards. We started this video off basically because of a post on the Facebook page. I put up a post over there called The State of Play. Now, basically what we were talking about there was just ideas and influence from you guys to possibly progress forward and give you more of what you're actually after. And it's come up quite a few times and been a bit of a recurring theme that people wanted gameplay that wasn't perfect, that was mistake-riddled. And I know we do have a lot of mistakes in the gameplay that's on here already, but the real big gaffes, the things that you can watch out for. Now, the How Not to Explode video series was actually inclusive of that, and we did have a lot of stuff in the How Not to Explode video series, but it didn't show the massive issues. And this time out, we're going to have a look at those issues. First up, we're going to have a look at the Panther M10. And I want to talk about hit point trading. Now, there's this whole ethos in the game where people go, and if you shoot at someone, they'll tunnel down hard and shoot back at you regardless, especially if you do damage to them. It's almost like, you hit me, I've got to hit you back. And if you fall into that trap early in the game, you can absolutely decimate your chances of doing damage. Now, good players, you hear them interviewed, you hear them on podcasts and things, and they nearly always say the same thing. And Ruckus particularly told me this about hit point maintenance, hanging on to your hit points, survivability ratios, upping the survivability so you finish more games alive. Because while you're alive, you're doing damage. And this is where you can be too aggressive. Now, I'm popping out here, side on, bad angle, I'm not camoed now because I've stuck my ass in front of that bloody tree. So the IS has seen me and he dumps me for it. Way too aggressive. But because he hit me, my blood's up. I'm going to fire another one back at him and expose myself again. And I haven't hit him back yet, so I'm really peed off. And I want to get that hit, so I'm going to pull back here and give myself a chance at paying him back for the horrible injustice it's done to me, where he actually did damage to me for being a noob. And I've gotten the wrong mindset now. And I'm tunneling that IS, and I am hit point trading. To the point where I'm disregarding good game mechanics. I should be waiting here for camo to reset, but I don't. So he can see me now, and he quite literally dusts me up. And that means that I've got 510 hit points left, under 2 minutes into a game, in a tier 8 matchup, and I've let myself and I've let Snake Eyes down, my platoon mate. We get it together and we win. But the point is, that's over-aggressive. It's hit point trading, and hit point trading is bad, bad play. Now, one of the most important things you can do in any game is analyse the team list. Now, I'm going to stop this right here. Now, have a look at those team lists. There's 6 mediums on the enemy team. In fact, one of them is Neo Skylar, who I know can play the game. He's in a 62A. The ideal situation here for me would be to push either a flank or to hold middle in a position where I can hull down or possibly not be visible from the left and the right at the same time. The worst possible spot I could go is somewhere where I am open on all sides. I am basically being very lazy here, and this is the biggest vice of any driver, I think. After you've played 8 or 9 games and you get into that kind of just blah, 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 blah feel, and you're not looking at the actual map, you'll see what I mean when I start this off. There's Neo Skylar, he can play, shouldn't be pushing. Now, watch this. Watch the angle here. I'm worried about the left, but I'm thinking they would have spotted someone on the right, surely, if there was anyone there. But that leopard's now spotted me. Anyone on the right that wants me can pop and have me. And they will. Rather than being discreet and pulling back, I push forward. And that's just putting your head further into the noose. You can see I'm now relying on the 2 guys on my left to hold that flank. And the guys on my right have all pulled back. Look at our mediums. They're not really pushing up. They're not going to hold anything. They're basically going to sit in a pocket behind and to the rear and wait to die. And that's not good play on their part, but it's bad on my part because I'm actually putting my life, the theoretical life of my tank, in the hands of the guys around me, and it's a terrible situation to be in. Just stupid play. And in this map, I'm late to the game. And that's not such a bad thing. Obviously, stuff does happen in real life. You can't help that. You can't always be on the ball. And positionally, I'm not going to do a terrible lot wrong here. We are pushing the flank on Desert. Chapo's asking, dude, question mark, please. You can hear the desperation in the tone. You never want to be left without your platoon mates sitting in the spawn. But I'll pick it up in a second and keep rolling. There we go. Now, that means that I'm going to have to basically play bodyguard for Chapo's in his Tortoise. He's the DPM, and he really is the keystone. That tank is an amazing tank. You're never dead when you've got a Tortoise alive. So what I'm doing here is I'm pushing up, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to make sure that the guys that are obviously not spotted are coming through town. So I'm going to make sure that they don't get to come around and smack Chapo's. Now, this is not a mistake. This is correct. The mistake is being lazy. Now, you're going to see that front left drive wheel of mine right here. The only shot they have is when I pop out. And because I'm popping out at far too acute an angle, and by that, I mean I could be back from the corner here, a little bit further down, and still getting the shots I get without giving up the ability for the enemy to put a shot through my front left drive wheel. And you'll see I will get hit here quite a number of times. Now, I've put that through his front right drive wheel. There are tanks all over the place here, and there's too many. I should be counting shots, seeing who's shot, seeing who hasn't, and moving out with those shots. But there you go, that's the first one. And I have to blow, and there's a second one. So I've blown both my repair kits now. And that means if I get ammo racked or tracked up again, I'm not going to be able to move. I'm also taking damage. Now, you could side scrape backwards off this, but I'm still persisting with this whole moving forward, showing the drive wheel and moving back. Now, we win this, and we win it pretty handily, and I'm doing good damage, and for all intents and purposes, it seems good. There's another one straight through the front left side, and I'm tracked. And the ammo rack goes, and if these guys were up on my hammer and it was a close game, I'd be dusted, and it's just lazy play. I'm giving them easy shots, and you can see here it is again, straight through the front left side of my tank. I've got a really good armor profile, and I'm not using it. Now, this one is more about prioritising your targets. You can see the M103 is fine. I'm the tip of the spear here. I'm pushing forward, pulling back, using this corner nicely. We've got him on gun handling quite comfortably, that IS-8. And we're angling up straight so that his Russian gun depression, he doesn't get down to my lower glacis very easily. That's all well and good. What I want to talk about is priority over the next couple of videos. I can't get that IS-8 shot. I should have kept pushing around there and got the IS-8 shot in the reload, because that KV-3 is completely unimportant. He's a tier 7 tank in a tier 9 match. He wouldn't have been able to pen me anyway. And again, it wasn't a game breaker, but it can be. And I'll show you here exactly what I'm talking about. Now, this is actually quite good play. There's nothing particularly wrong here, and Chapo and I carry the day. And it's not comfortable, but we do carry the day. But there's a sequence which is just outrageously stupid and wastes about 3 shots on targets that could have been far more important. But anyway, here we go. There's a T30 in this game. I've looked at the team list. That's why I'm not pushing out in the open. I'm going to tell everyone here, T30 in brush. It comes out as Brish, but, you know, I can't do much better than that. I haven't seen him. I just know that's where he's going to be, because obviously I'm experienced at the game. I've played too many games, as my wife will tell you, and I know he's going to be there. And he'll pop in a sec, and he's going to pump one in straight through. You'll see the tracer in just a second. There you go. Now, there's your T30. There's an M103. There's all kinds of licorice all sorts. They're going to push. And we don't do too bad a thing. We blow adrenaline, and you'll see the M103 is a great tank. We're side scraping off this edge. We've pumped 2 rounds into him. And he's going to be a really valuable bit of furniture for us. We can now side scrape and get around behind him. And the Tiger 1 kind of in the way, but he's doing his best. He's a tier 7 in a tier 9 game. I switched to AP because obviously we're going to shoot into tracks, and we don't want to be shooting heat into the side of tracks because you'll quite often just lose the shot altogether. There we go. Now that IS there is a key player in what I'm talking about. We're just side scraping away, very comfortable. Nice work. Chapo and I holding the line here. Things are looking pretty bloody good, but as usual in this game, not all. Now there's one shot into the IS. Okay. Now he's a target in front of me, so I can't really fault myself for going for that. And he's firing HE at me, so it's not going to do much to me. There are other targets that are available, and I'm firing into the IS. Now there's 1 for 1. No worries. We're now in a really good spot. There's 2 dead M103s in front of us. We can side scrape here, do whatever we want, and the IS is going to cop another one. All well and good. But here's where it gets interesting. I could be putting shots in right now on that T30, but I fired at the IS, and then I rushed a shot on the T30. So the 2 shots taken right there were crap. I wait this time until the actual reload gets all the way down, and there we go, we get a shot on that IS. Wasted 1 shot on him, missed a clean shot on the T30 because of it. There's the J Panther, the Panther 2, we get him. Again, here comes the IS. Now, he is not trouble for me. There is no reason for me to be rocking around with him. There are targets behind, and I'm going to miss this shot. Big deal. Damaged his view range. And there's a shot right there on the T30 that I missed because I am shooting lazy. I am not prioritising my targets. Another one, and the T30 goes straight through. All I had to do was pop out. I had the hit points. I could have absolutely smashed him. And I get the IS, but it cost me again. Cost me shots. And that J Panther was wide open behind him. We're just lucky that we got the reload. So although it was a fairly solid game in terms of defensive play, and Chapo and I held the line, and the Yag Tiger called us a noob, and I don't know, he might have been calling someone else a noob. Here we go. I can't help myself. I'm a saucy bastard. The T-44 with a well-played Storm. Good on you. Good sportsmanship. So solid play, but really, really bad shot selection. And it's just coming from being inattentive. Now, you want to see inattentive. I've looked at the team list here. There's 2 guys on the opposition team who are from very solid clans. Ace, that's Ruckus's clan, Stealth 251, one of my other clan mates, one of my other mates, Clarice, Catalyst Protocol. A lot of really good guys in Ace. Great clan, great bunch of blokes. And EHR, which is another clan that has, quite often I've come across very good players from that team. So I've gone over the mound because they're in mediums, and I think that they're going to turn up here on my left. And lo and behold, I'm a genius. They do turn up on my left, and I'm in a fantastic position to actually put effective fire in on them. They are tier 10s. We're in a tier 9 tank, but for all that, we're in a good tank. Good gun handling on the M103. Plenty of penetration to get through a 62 and an E50M, which they're in. And there you go. So we're in a great spot. Put ourselves in a really good position. Here's the clue as to why I stuff up here. They're good players. I am so focused on these 2 guys. And you know what I mean. If you've been in this game for any length of time at all, you focus in at the start of the game on the guys who can do the most damage on the enemy team. And for me, that's those 2. So I'm happy days. I'm in a great spot. The base cap has gone off. Someone is driving across base cap right now, but I'm not paying attention. And I get exactly what I deserve. 1,400 up the arse from the biggest gun in the game. I mean, we're all noobs sometimes. If I had been paying attention, I would have been able to turn. I would not have taken 1,400 damage. Minimum, if they penetrated, was like 1,000 damage from an AP round. And we lose this game, and we lose it by the skinniest of margins. And do you think that an extra 1,000 hit points might have helped? It would have been the absolute difference maker. We lose because the E50M manages to push up here and kill me. And we do a good job here, but it's too late. We made the big mistake already by being an absolute tunnelling moron and ignoring everyone else apart from the guys in front of me that I was zoomed in at. Now the E50M moves up. We've got one ace guy. This is the AHR guy in the 50M, and we've played it pretty well. He was on full hit points a second ago. We've sucked him right in, and we lose it on a reload, and he's on like 1 hit point. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't be a tunnelling noob. And it wasn't Chapo's fault either, because Chapo's lost despite the fact, I think he was the last tank down, and it was a heartbreaker. And I can't blame anything else on that apart from I made good choices. And this is the thing, you can make good choices all the way along and still end up in a bad situation because of one mistake. And this game will flip on its head on a bad mistake. And we've all been there when you have certain defeat in your face and you come out on top and it feels amazing. But to get that, generally the opposition has to make a grave error in judgment. And that's the case right there. We had that on toast if we hadn't have just let FV215B183 fire a Hesh round into our butt. Anyway, you've been wonderful as always. Check out that Patreon link. There's a lot more coming up. There's some official stuff coming down the pipe that you're going to love. You're really, really going to love. I'm Bushka on Blitz. You're bloody lovely as always. Sayonara.